Whether you are on the trip yourself or just watching the highs and lows from afar, know this. No one ever plans for this. No one really thinks they'll end up divorced, staring down the monumental task of co-parenting through the wreckage of their marriage. And if you are anything like me, you've spent many sleepless nights wishing there was a handbook to help you figure this all out. But there isn't one. And make no mistake, this is definitely not a handbook. This is, however, a book of hope. I was asked why I wanted to write It's Not About Us. There are tons of books about divorce, so does the world really need another? I decided to write it because I wish it had been on the bookshelves when I was starting down this scary path. The majority of the stories I had heard about divorce were ones in which both parents were miserable, and the children were left with a magazine rack full of issues that would haunt them into adulthood. No one was telling a story about redefining family in a way that centered the parenting commitment and created a new bond between the parents based on respect and compassion. If parents want their kids to be okay through a divorce, then they have to be okay through it. And there has to be someone out there who needs to hear that kind of story. I'm a clinical social worker and a devoted mom. Not the kind who makes organic baby food, but the kind who loves wine and the F word. I'm also the daughter of parents who were married for over 40 years. I was not supposed to be a 34-year-old heartbroken single mom trying to figure out how not to kill my ex while we attempt to raise this kid together and not totally screw her up. But there I was. And at that time, had you told me that within 9 years of my divorce, I would be packing my bags to leave my life and move across the country at the request of my ex-husband, I would have laughed in your face and asked to sip whatever it was that you had clearly been drinking. But that's exactly what happened. So yeah, there's definitely a story here. Buckle up. You're about to find out what happened on that wild ride and what I learned along the way. You'll see my messy, imperfect attempts to stay on the high road while trying to forge a new path for my disjointed family. You'll also see how one person's commitment to rise above can change everything. I didn't get it right away, but I came to understand something big. Giving my ex generosity and grace, even if it meant giving beyond what was given to me or what I thought was deserved, could create the reality I wanted for this new version of our family. As I thought about what Mick and I were being tasked with, what we would now have to do for our daughter Sammy, caught in the middle of this storm she didn't create, lyrics from one of my favorite songs came to mind. They're from Lin-Manuel Miranda's song One Last Time from the Broadway show Hamilton. I want to talk about what I have learned, the hard-won wisdom I have earned. And if we get this right, we're going to teach them how to say goodbye. You and I. Miranda was exactly right. If Mick and I could get out of our own way, we would teach her how to say goodbye with love. The way we handled our divorce, the way we talked to her about where we had been, who we had been, and who we are now, was the best gift we could give her. So we did. We showed her how to let go with grace and move forward with dignity, a lesson that will guide her through the rest of her life. It's a lesson that I want to empower you to pass on to your kids. Fair warning, getting to and staying on the high road was not at all what I'd call easy. It won't be for you either. But in the following stories, I'll share some of the hard-won wisdom I earned along my journey. The revelations in these 15 nuggets of wisdom will provide a survival guide for you and other divorced parents. Together, we will create a functional co-parenting relationship and redefine your family in a new and positive way. I can't promise you that this book will give you all the answers, and I can't promise you that this will work for you. But I can promise to share my story honestly. I promise to show you the path we took to creating a healthy co-parenting relationship, not only for our daughter, but also for us as parents. And I promise to give you a new way to look at this unwelcome change that feels more hopeful than you feel right now. My sincerest hope is that you will close this book feeling encouraged that your situation doesn't have to be a tragedy that leaves deep wounds. I want yours to be a story of redemption, a story about rising from the ashes better than you could have imagined. I want you to know that you have the power to write your own script about the kind of divorce you'll give your kids, the kind of childhood they'll remember, and the kind of lessons that will guide them throughout their lives.